Let me get set up here, guys, and we'll get started. Whoops! Silly here's trying to run away. Okay. Alright, there we go. Great. That's awesome. I want to get just a little bit closer to you. Okay, here we go. We got a little dude here. See? Alright. She's like, hey, there's me. There's me, huh? Okay, so guys, you know, I've looked at many videos about bearded dragons. So I thought I would just do a whole series about all the facts, all the information on how-tos and all that, all the information on the things. He's in my lap, by the way. She is in my lap. All the information on bearded dragons that I could find. So, welcome to Being Draco. It is a 10-part series. This is the first part, and this is just going to brush up on a little of the background information and some other things that I found, and then we will specifically start going into certain things. So let's get started. Come here, dude. Alright, and this is my notebook. You know, I wrote this down so I'm not just going everywhere with my brain. So this is Draco. You guys know Draco. Draco, now you're going to fall. This is Draco. She loves being out of her cage, but she just wants to go everywhere. Okay, Draco, stay there. Alright, so bearded dragons first came to the U.S. in the 1990s, and they have grown huge in popularity. I mean, we've got breeders after breeders that are selling these dragons. We've got different morphs that are being mixed, and it's just crazy, the dragons that we have today, the colors, the different morphs. It's just amazing. They originate from inland Australia, and they can be found in arid, rocky, semi-desert regions and the arid open woodlands. They are, I'm not sure how to say this word, so they are diurnal, which, well, basically they come out in the day. But often they spend the hottest part of the day in underground little tunnels that they actually dig, or burrows, and are well adapted to cool desert. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Yeah. Okay. They are semi-arboreal, meaning they are adapt climbers, if you can't see. They are very social animals, often very interested in the things. I guess we noticed that, huh? For which they use their tongues to explore. We see you do that all the time. Right? Yeah. Handling dragons. They are often quite tame, and they require very little training. With handling your dragon, make sure, now let me do this, okay? If you're new to owning a dragon or want to know more information. Make sure to scoop up your dragon with your hand under its belly. So, and I always, just so they know that I'm coming, because I don't want to surprise them from behind, I always kind of pet her a little bit, you know, kind of massage her a little bit, and then I will go under her belly like this and pick her up in my hand, okay? I always want to support them very well because they get really trusting of their owners, and they won't always hold on to you. So you always want to make sure they're very well supported because things like that happen. Okay? What? Where are you? Well, where are you at? You're so cute. I could just smack you. I love her so much. Look at her, guys. Okay. She's going to take over the channel. I'm going to get this information out. Okay, come on. Come on. Here we go. Alright. Let's see. They do not like being firmly held. You want to loosely hold your dragon. Kind of let it just climb all over you, really, like Draco's doing to me right now. Let them explore all that they want to. Are you seriously doing that, dude? Every time, man. She just pooped me. Yeah, she just did. Every time, the last 2 days, she has pooped on me. And it is raunchy. Raunchy, raunchy. And that was probably why she was trying to get off of me, to be honest. Now, there is a myth, which I'm actually going to do a video on at a later time. Facts and myths about dragons. But there's a myth about dragons that they carry salmonella. Now, their feces does carry salmonella, but the dragons themselves do not carry salmonella. You can hug them. Of course, you want to wash your hands, but they don't. As long as you're not playing in their feces and not washing your hands and stuff, you're good. I took a baby wipe. I wiped her feces off my leg, which I have pants on, but and threw it away. So, yeah. So see, she's a little better now that she's used the bathroom. She's kind of calmer. Don't make me have a liar, Draco. You want them to rest in your palm, and you want to gently curl your fingers over their back so that they don't jump and hurt themselves. Although they're quite friendly when they feel threatened, they have been known to scratch or bite their handlers. Please take caution if your dragon assumes a defensive posture, such as puffing out, which means that their beard turns black and they start puffing, kind of like a frog, guys. Their beard just starts coming out, and also they will turn their back towards you, which is protect their organs. When they fight another dragon, they'll turn their back toward them to protect their organs in their belly. Okay, diet. Beardies are omnivores, eating both plants and animal sources, such as bugs, small mammals in the wild, but they need to be fed appropriately. Size cultured crickets, roaches, mealworms, kingworms, and waxworms, along with pinky mice. It needs to be a 2/3 size dragon. Offer only what they can consume within a 10-minute period. I've also heard this as 15 minutes to a 15-minute feeding period. I also like to have Draco on a feeding schedule. That way she knows when mom gets up, turns her lights on, get going, she's going to be fed. And she's usually the first thing I take care of in the morning. Right, Draco? Yeah. Right. Okay. After they have eaten, if you do feed them in their cage, some people like to get them out of their vivarium and feed them. But you want to make sure you clean any dead or uneaten animals out of there, such as crickets. If you leave live crickets in there at night while the dragon sleeps, crickets will bite your dragon. So you want to make sure you get everything out of there that has been uneaten. It will also, keep any diseases from forming in your dragon's tank. I'm sorry, guys. If you feed them food, like I said, usually this is how you tell. It's the easiest way to tell. Their food does not need to be bigger than the space between their eyes, okay? And what happens when they are fed food that is larger than this is it can result in partial paralysis, seizures, ataxia, gut impaction, and even death, okay? And you want to make sure you avoid lightning bugs because they are poisonous to your dragon. Right, baby? A phosphorus-free calcium supplement containing D3 should be sprinkled over veggies or feeder insects. Now, what I like to do is, and I actually brought them with me, is I have a special bowl with a lid on it that I put her crickets in that I'm going to feed her for that feeding period. Where are you going? Huh? And what I will do is, let me just show you what kind I've got here. Okay. I have Repticalcium by Zoomed that I just got today in the mail. And this is not a sponsored video, by the way. These are just products that I like to use. This contains the D3. You always want to make sure it contains the D3, guys. They got to have that D3. This is actually a really good deal on this, guys. I got this on eBay for less than $4. And it's huge, right? And the one I got at the pet store, let me show you, it was $5. Okay? Don't get me wrong, Exoterra make awesome calcium supplement for reptiles. This also contains D3. This is actually what I've been using. I haven't used this yet. And I give this to her every day, sprinkled on her crickets. What I do is I take her crickets, I put them in the bowl, I shake them up, get them good and coated, and then I feed them to her one by one, and she goes crazy over them. Are you going to jump on the back of the chair? Yeah, I feel you. Okay. Go on, so I can eat you. Alright. And this right here, this is a vitamin supplement by ZooMed. Okay? And I give this to her 3 to 4 times a week. I give it, about every other day. This has D3 in it also. This have all the vitamin supplements that they need in it, such as vitamin B12. Just dried kelp. It has tons of stuff in it. So I cannot even read all this stuff. But, okay, here we go. It has moisture, arginine. Right here, if you want to pause this video and kind of look at this, well, you can't really see it, can you? How about this? I will actually make a list on my Instagram of this. I'll take make a list of everything on here. Again, this is by ZooMed, and it's called Reptivite. And I give that to her every other day. Now, she is a juvenile. The older dragons, you do not have to give them as much. You can give them the calcium around 4 times a week. And I'm really not sure. I will have to look this up about the supplement. I'm thinking it's like once or twice a week. Plants such as, but not limited to, mustard, collard, and dandelion greens should be offered daily. They need to have their plants. I'm trying to find the percentage. Okay, adults have 75. Now, I've heard this differently, but this is what it says on, if I'm not mistaken, it was Wikipedia, so that's where I got my source, some of my sources. Adults 75% are 75% veggies and 25% protein. I know that's kind of backward with babies. It's kind of like 25% veggies and 75% protein because babies need a lot of protein. They are often found eating flowers in the wild. Blossoms from roses, hibiscus, and calendula plant can be presented to them as long as you know that you have got them from somewhere that does not have pesticides sprayed on them. Fruit can be offered, but in small amounts, such as, but not limited to, cantaloupe, mango, strawberries, blueberries. There's just a big list, which I will also put on my Instagram. Again, that is being underscore blue. Not blue. Being underscore Draco. And that's also down below in the description. Your time of feeding is very important. It is recommended to offer your food in the AM, so digestion occurs during the warmest part of the day. Like right now, it's the warmest part of the day. It's around 3 o'clock, and she just used the bathroom because I fed her this morning. Now, I do give her a snack in the evening time, but it's not a 15-minute feeding period, just so you know. Mama's going to have this. She keeps trying to climb. Yeah, Mama does. Keeps trying to climb on my notebook. Okay. Care and husbandry are key to healthy dragons. Beardies require very specific housing conditions in order to survive in captivity. Um, so let's discuss the requirements these beautiful creatures need to thrive. Housing. Housed in enclosures that are at least twice as long, one time as wide, and one time as tall. So adults need a 4 to 6 foot long, 2 foot wide, and 2 foot high tank. Most are comfortable in a glass tank, although there are downsides to them. For example, glass is a poor insulator and it doesn't have good ventilation. It can be compromised due to lack of air circulating on the back wall of the tank. Custom enclosures are popular because they are more versatile and can fit exact specifications and requirements for the owner, but most of all for the dragon. And this is what I recommend. We actually have our own custom tank for her. My husband made it. Do you see my ring? She likes my ring. It's sparkling, but she likes it. So my husband made it. Only the front is glass, and that's just so she can see us. You want your dragon to be able to see you, get comfortable with you, see you at all times. So we have her in the living room where we spend most of our time. Substrate, the best substrate. It is a very big discussion on, and I think really personal references. One thing you should not use, absolutely not use, guys, is sand. Okay, because they are going to get impacted. Okay, which is it. The sand really will go in their intestines and it will form a blockage, and it's just really bad. It's a really bad situation. So please avoid any kind of sands, even if they say they're made for bearded dragons. You want to avoid any kind of sands. Now, some other substrates are, but are not limited to, guys, newspaper, paper towels, reptile carpet. Do not use gravel, pebbles, kitty litter, alfalfa pellets, wood shavings, corn, or walnut cob. Beardies need both basking and hiding areas. Your tank should be big enough to have both a shallow. There you go. Your tank should be big enough to have both a shallow water dish. It should also present, although, which, with the water dish, most dragons do not drink out of a water dish. I mean, if you know anything about dragons and you have your own dragons, you know that most dragons will not drink from a water dish. Usually you have to actually drop food right in front of them in the water dish to get them to drink out of the water dish. So the best way to give them water is really to spray them a few times a day. Maybe get them out, let them soak in warm water. That really hydrates them. I do that a few times a week for her. She really, really, really enjoys it. Also, the temperature. Dragons are ectothermic, which means they are cold-blooded. Hold on, let me get her down from my arm. So, the warm side of the tank, you need a warm side, and you need a cooler side. It's not really cool, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so the warm side should be 85 to 95. The cool side needs to be no lower than 70, and their basking spot needs to be from 95 to 105. I usually have hers around 100. Please don't use heat rods, guys. They can burn your dragon even without your dragon knowing it. I wouldn't use it for any animal. And you can actually get the heating pads that go under your tank that are very, very useful. But it's pretty good without it. Her hydration and everything in the tank is pretty on point. These rocks also can cause dehydration because they like to lay on them too long, and of course that's going to take the hydration out of their body. Are you having fun? I just want to know. You having fun? Okay, lighting, guys. Dragons need 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness during winter months. They need 14 hours of light and 10 hours of dark during the summer. Now, full spectrum lighting containing UVA and UVB is essential. Essential is a must have. You've got to have that UVA or UVB. There are lights with both, but either one is sufficient. Um, these are pretty expensive lights, but they're a must have. Now I have a light, but I'm actually going to upgrade to a tube light, the long ones. That way it's all over my tank and it's not just in this spot right here because mine's in a ceramic lamp. So it kind of just goes down. So I've got to make sure it's around her through the day. So I'm actually going to go to a tube light, which I think there's a good one out there by Exoterra that most everybody recommends. Now, UVA produces beneficial behavioral and psychological effects, while UVB light provides vitamin D3. And that's what you need. You need a lot of D3, guys. This D3 is important. Full spectrum lights, which look like incandescent light bulbs, are incandescent light bulbs. Okay? If they look like a light bulb, that's what they are. Because the ones with UVB just do not look like a regular light bulb. And they're only made for heat. That's all they give out is heat. They have no UVE in them. The use of the term full spectrum, okay, can be grossly misleading. So pay close attention, very close attention when you purchase your lighting. Make sure you read that box. Without UVB lighting, your building will produce MBD, okay? This is metabolic bone disease. It causes a weakening of the skeletal structure and their bones just start bending, okay? They get so weak they just start bending in two. And in more advanced cases, it can cause to the stages, it can lead to repeated tremors, severe weakness, and bone fractures. The UV output of fluorescent lights decreases over time, so you need to change your bulbs at least every 6 months. You can get a meter that will tell you how much UVB output that you have. Okay, so humidity. Beardies require 20 to 30% humidity inside their enclosure. To increase humidity, place a water bowl under their heat lamp or spray the side of the tank with water every 24 to 48 hours. High humidity and temperature can lead to rapid growth of bacteria and mold and respiratory infections in your beardie. Finding the right balance is key. Can you come up here for a minute while I change? Okay. Here now. I'm almost gonna do this and get back out there, okay? Average lifespan of a beard activity is 5 to 8 years, but with proper care and lighting, diet, cage size, and exercise, these amazing creatures can live as long as 15 or more years in some cases. It's depending on where you purchase or adopt your beardie. It may be a good idea to take him to the vet for a checkup and an adenovirus PCV swab. Some vets actually require it before they will take on a beardie as a patient, because this can cause serious illness or even death, and it's quite common in beardie dragons. Am I going to have to put you in a burrito? Because you just want to hold still. No, you're just going crazy everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a beardie burrito. If you've never seen one, just pay close attention and I'll let you know how to do this. So this is her wash rag that she uses. Okay, this is actually a baby wash rag. It's very soft, and you know, I just feel like if it's good for a newborn, then it has to be good for a beardie, right, baby? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place her in the middle of the cloth, okay? Right in the middle. And then I'm going to take, you can't eat that. She's trying to eat the string. I'm going to take both sides over. But you want to leave it loose enough so they can't get out. Look at, already poking her head out. And she's so hyper today, like, I don't know what's got into her. But I'm glad she's thriving, guys. I'm so glad. This is my baby right here. Alright. Now, you going to take a nap? You going to take a nap for Mom? Okay, and I'm not putting, see, you can tell I'm not putting any pressure. She's already coming out. You going to come out? Okay, adenovirus is a contagious disease that can cause serious illness or even death, and it's quite common in bearded dragons. So make sure you get that adenovirus PCR swab. PCP, Lord mercy. Okay, so I guess that's where we're going to stop on this video. Our next video is going to be on why and how a bearded dragon loses their tail. So make sure you tune in. I'm actually going to do that one directly after this one, so it will be uploaded. Make sure you tune in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know Draco and I enjoyed it. Please subscribe down below if you haven't already. Like our video. What? And add us on Instagram. We love you guys, and we can't wait to see you again. You guys have a